So a lot of people talk about Bjerg versus Jensen. Both actually played really well. Because Bjerg and Jensen both played really well. Oh, he can play them though. Why do you assume? Because TSM doesn't draft towards it? It's because they can't play towards it. They can't play it. Watch Zben play Varus this game. Watch Zben's Varus and let me know if he can play Varus or not. I really liked TSM taking Kench away from TL. I think Kench allows TL to play their style. Their style is very heavily based on having a stronger backline and being able to play versus double lift, and Kench is a huge part of that. TL locking in a great team fight core straight away. Galio plus Jarvan plus Sivir. It's very much a Team Liquid draft. Sivir into Varus. And then Rek'Sai into Jarvan. Favorite of Acadians. So far very expected. And then now TSM banning out one of the only carries that Impact can play, GP. Impact can play 2 carries, GP and Kennen. And let's see what TL responds with. Irelia, that's actually a really good ban. One of the things that they can handle. So the core carries in this meta, Irelia, Ryze, Akali, Jace are all banned out. And the only carries left can only be counter-picked. Like when you pick Vlad, you're picking it as a counter-pick. If you blind Vlad, you can get punished really heavily. Banning out LeBlanc, so this opens up Corki blind, this opens up Zoe blind. And then Zillion ban. Zillion ban's kind of weird. I'm not sure why they banned Zillion. I don't think it was that required. Zillion with this comp would be super awkward. Lux mid. Zoe mid. Yeah. The LeBlanc ban helps the Zoe blind. That's why the LeBlanc ban's coming down. And then the Dinger into Dinger Kennen. Holy shit, Jonathy, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. I am going to have to mute notifications because this will be a YouTube video, but thank you so much for the sub. So Dinger into Zoe blind, and then Vlad pick into Kennen. So Vlad into Kennen, while it's a pretty playable matchup where Vlad can outscale. STL Poppy, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. So we're gonna talk about both comps a little bit. So this is what I heard. So I heard Jensen was able to scrim few academy teams, or TL was able to scrim academy teams in their practice leading up to TSM. Plasmar, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. And they actually played Dinger into LeBlanc, or not LeBlanc, Dinger into Zoe, and it was doing well. And why Dinger does well versus Zoe is whenever Zoe shoots her bubble, Dinger can put up his turret and block it. So that's one way that it works. And also, one other way that it works is Dinger can push on Zoe very easily with his turrets in lane, and Zoe has a hard time dealing with the priority. We're going to go over this game how TL didn't really play towards the turrets and play towards mid having priority, but that is the primary reason why you pick Dinger into Zoe, to play with the lane prio and to make sure later on Zoe can't land easy bubble her Qs. Overall, TL has a team fighting comp. I mean, who would have guessed it? TL always plays their team fighting comp. And TSM also has a team fighting comp, but that's a more 4-1 with a harder carry up top lane. In EU, they just use Syndra versus Zoe, yeah. Syndra versus Zoe is also a good one. What's the other one that they put? Syndra versus Zoe, LeBlanc versus Zoe. Sometimes people does Zillion versus Zoe. I actually don't like that one that much. Lux versus Zoe. Lux is a Froggen counter, by the way. Froggen and Scrims play so much Lux as a blind pick, and also as a Lux as a blind pick, and also as a counter pick into Zoe. Jensen, Broken Blade, Acadian. Ellis said LeBlanc isn't a Zoe counter. I think as Zoes get better, it is a LeBlanc into Zoe is a counter where the LeBlanc side has to be slightly better, and you have to have good jungle matchup. It's not like a hard counter, but it is something that you need a little bit more pressure from the jungle on. Like, LeBlanc straight up isn't a Zoe counter, but LeBlanc with a winning jungle is a Zoe counter, and also a lane that Zoe has to be very, very careful of. But this game, I think a lot of the focus should be on how TL plays out the mid jungle, or lack of how they play out the mid jungle, because I think it was super fucking important. And also, I kind of want to highlight Zben's play on Varus, because I'm telling you guys, Zben's Varus isn't that great. A lot of fans are like, what do you mean he can't play Varus? He plays it all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. He can't play it, and he plays it all the time. Oof. So Vladimir loses to pretty much every champion earlier on. And as Vladimir, your goal earlier on is to just farm and survive. So Kennen beating the shit out of Vladimir early is normal. Wow. Damn, CoreJJ almost got the kill there. How? So he spots Acadian, Acadian kind of low, Acadian finishing it. Okay, CoreJJ flashed for it. Acadian was able to get the buff though. Whew, that exhaust. Even though it didn't burn, it didn't kill them. Like, that chunk on double is huge. It's gonna force the TP early. Sivir versus Varus is pretty much an even lane, and the thing about AD carries nowadays is both of them like don't really get ganked. Like, it's hard to gank a Varus lane, it's hard to gank a Tahm Kench lane, and it's hard to gank a Sivir lane also. So it's hard to gank either side, and a lot of times they both end up farming. Then you might ask the question, why don't they play hyper carries if both of them are going to end up farming? Is because hyper carries in mid game are really fucking bad. In mid game, when you're in a 1-3-1 situation, like a champion like Twitch, Jinx, and Vayne are fucking useless compared to like a Varus or a Sivir, which are god tier champions in 1-3-1 situations. Sivir getting prio from bot side. Doubles having better tempo. Oh, how'd that gank go down? Let's see. Okay, Acadian was doing his jungle, Impact TP'd. Xmikti was able to get it, and then Impact closing in on Acadian, and Acadian doesn't have flash from burning it earlier because of CoreJJ. Okay. This wasn't like... I guess I don't know enough of context to say whether it was a terrible invade, but invading without flash and Impact TPing in were just two bad things that happened to happen at the same time that kind of got Acadian fucked. I guess he has to be on the safer side when he doesn't have flash and he is invading. So we talked about Dinger having a lot of pressure on Zoe, right? So this Dinger is still getting a lot of pressure on Zoe, and with the freedom, they're able to do stuff like Dragon. One thing that's really big is you get Dragon, but you also need to get Herald afterwards too. It's not just enough that you get pressured as the Dinger versus Zoe. You need to abuse the early game pressure. Oh, that 1-for-1 trade. Overall, that trade is still fine for TSM because they're making a play while TL's on the bot side of the map, so it's completely free. But one thing that's huge from that is Vlad getting ahead on Kennen, and Vlad being able to be in a state where, oh man, this was actually so bad from Broken Blade. I'll kind of explain why it's bad. As the Vlad, you always want to start with your Q in these kind of situations because there's a chance you can get a second proc up Q, and especially on your red Q, you want to use it fast as possible. So he wants to go Q, E, and then W and let Acadian tank, and Acadian breaks his tanking with his ult because both Vlad and Rek'Sai have ways to break the tank, ways to reset aggro. They could have abused it in such a better way. Yeah, I think BB leading with Q would have been so much better for him, leading with QE or QR if he had R up. But still, giving help to the Ken and Vlad matchup. Making sure Vlad can stabilize, super fucking important, and TSM doing a good job of that. It's gonna be important on TL side, the fact that they have Heimer versus Zoe, that they are able to take advantage of this matchup and keep pushing up and take objectives. Heimer versus Zoe isn't a matchup where you just kill the Zoe over and over again. One thing that Bjerg's doing extremely well is maintaining CS. And right now, where Bjergsen and Jensen both have blue buff, Bjergsen isn't really going to have a hard time clearing out the wave. But earlier on, I think Jensen could have been doing much better job of keeping them pushed in and playing with Xmithy and actually getting more out of this matchup. It feels like they got nothing out of this matchup. So one, this matchup isn't as good as TL thinks it is. Two, they didn't actually play to it properly. Yeah, like right now would be the timing. I would say this Heimer versus Zoe matchup should be, like, if it's not favored right now, then when is it ever going to be Heimer favored? If you can't push up on the Zoe now, then when the hell can you be able to push up on the Zoe? Yeah, this matchup's actually kind of garbo. It seems like Bjerg is able to neutralize pretty easily, keep the lane even, and nothing's really happening for Heimer. Jensen said he legit played it one time in practice. Don't know why they tried it. Played it one time, pulled it out for the finals. I mean, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then you're kind of fucked. But lanes, other than mid lane, going pretty how much it should. Kennen gets prio on Vlad early. Vlad tries to stabilize as much as possible. Xmithy's doing a good job of just maintaining his composure, not going for things he doesn't need to go for. He's not starting up Herald, he's not starting up Dragon. Oh, here he goes, he started up Herald. I think I actually think neither team should be really starting Herald here. I think both teams should have played a little bit more slower. Neither of them really have a lead to start Herald, and it puts you in a kind of shitty situation. So because TL started Herald, they were the ones kind of chunked, and Broken Blade, even though he was losing in lane, he was the one teleporting back first. So now he's here with item. It's a straight 3v3. The only big, I guess, deficit is Acadian being a level behind up Xmithy. Core JJ and Smoothie ported in. Alright, so let's slow play this. So TL started this early, and look at what TSM's willing to do. They're willing to give up a giant wave bottom to make sure they're here. And for double lift, he's going to take a while to TP. So this is like the playstyle difference, where TSM is very much for the objective, and for TL, they heavily prefer the farm on double. You can see he stayed bottom to make sure he can get that one more wave push in, and he's still not teleporting right away. He's taking his time. They do a lot of their plays to actually buy time for double. Bjergsen lands a nice bubble. Jensen got hit by Zben, and he has to cleanse flash out immediately. Core JJ can't really participate. So I'm not sure what Acadian was doing. Acadian went on Impact, who already used his ult, and who was tanky. So Acadian died before able to use... He wasn't able to use his ult. It went on cooldown, but he died before. And Broken Blade going in to try to finish Impact, not able to finish Impact. Broken Blade probably going to get finished by Jensen afterwards. And the position that Double was teleporting in was actually so unfortunate for him. Yeah, and now Core JJ ulted, so he's in a shitty spot too. So I think TL actually could have crushed this fight, because if you look from this angle, Acadian plays this really badly. But Double is TPing in here kind of late after the fight is over is what's fucking them over. I would have much preferred if Double is TP'd early and he made sure he was on the same side of his team. So probably TP on this side of the map and TPing early. Yeah. Double TP was troll as fuck. But Acadian going in on the fight was bad, and Impact played it really well, where he knew people were going in on him and he ulted right away. Oh shit! God damn, Bjergsen Zoe. God fucking damn. Disgusting. Bjerg Zoe makes me very angry. Whenever I see good Zoes, it makes me very angry. Yeah. You can see Jensen getting caught out and then Doublelift TPing. Maybe it wasn't Doublelift's fault, but his TP should have been earlier. He's TPing to the side that he thinks Jensen will be with him on, but he's TPing to a separate side, and Bjergsen here is so happy to just chunk out Doublelift and fuck with him. Yeah. Katie is like, let's go! I'm a great cheerleader. Now, TSM starting Dragon in return because they won the Herald fight. Xmithy probably going to get forced out there. Yeah, he wasn't even ranged to smite. Alright, let's double. And because TSM, like, you can see, like, Broken Blade gave up top side to come down to bottom. You can see Dgon and Tom Kinch gave up bot side to come down to Herald. TSM is way more so about giving up early priority to come down for objective, where TL is much more about maximizing farm and being stronger for team fight. So I would describe TL as more of a slow scaler team, and TSM as more of a tempo-based team fighting team. TL is a scaling team fight, where TL is a scaling team fight, where TSM is more tempo-based team fight. That's like little differences in their play. Like, TSM will give up farm if it means they can get a better teamfight look, where TL more wants to kind of spread out and making sure they're maximizing farm before getting a good teamfight look. Looks like TSM looking for a swap. Which is better? TSM style is more aggressive, and it's better if you are able to execute better. But if you fuck up on execution with the TSM style, you fall behind and it's really hard to catch up if you lose the team fight. If you fuck up on the execution with TL style, then you can still like maintain, like you can still be in the game. I wouldn't say one's like better or worse than the other, but it is a different way to look at the game. I would say TSM style is a little bit more faster paced, and that's how LPL teams like to play. LPL teams are so much about tempo. Yeah. So Dgon hit his first ult on Heimer here, and his second ult on the Galio here. I think the first Heimer ult was good. I think this Galio ult is useless, but really take a closer look at Dgon's ults. I'm telling you, Dgon is not the best Varus. I think he's an excellent Kalista, an excellent Israel, but his Varus is really lacking, and I think you guys will see a lot of that. TSM setting up for Dragon again. What's so bad about it? His ult usage and his damage in teamfight. Oh man, so kind of I want to touch on this little interaction here. So whenever Jensen's playing Zoe into Heimer, or Heimer into Zoe, he's thinking, okay, so Bjerg hit me with the bubble here, so I'm going to block it with Q. So he put a turret down to block it with Q, and instead Dgon fired off his Q and he hit Jensen through the turret anyways. So Jensen's like really chunked out here. So yes, Heimer does play well into Zoe, but Varus fucks up a lot of that. So Bjerg is really ahead. Dgon in a decent spot. This is a point in the game for TSM where they're really strong and they want to pressure their lead. They have Zoe on 2 items, Varus almost at 2 items. can see side laners on TSM give up pressure priority to make sure they come to defend mid. Game's gonna play out where TL wants to keep pushing on mid, but TSM wants to stalling. And when they get to a point where Vlad has enough items, where Vlad has 3 items, where Vlad has 4 items, like, then TSM can start winning the fights. The longer TSM waits, the better and better it gets. Dinger is gonna start to fall off, and Vlad's just gonna get stronger and stronger. Oh my god, that was such a good look from Acadian. I want to slow this play down. I want you guys to look at Acadian. Just Acadian. Only thing you have to focus on is this Rek'Sai going into the Heimer. He dodged that out. Even they know he's here. They have a ward on him. Acadian's here. Flash knockup. Q into Jensen. And then, wait. Q into Jensen. Second part of Q. And then kill him. He literally killed Jensen by himself. No one else helped. And then he literally killed Jensen by himself. He played that team fight so well. Being able to kill carries by himself. And then we're going to rewatch this team fight. And then I'll tell you what I mean regarding Dgon Varus. And why I don't like it that much. Broken Blade able to land a great ult. He's going to be able to heal up from all the healing. And then being able to E, hit both people. Able to kill Smoothie. Able to kill Core JJ. Xmitty trying to go back on the fight. But probably going to end up dying too. Oh man. God, Beerjoy is so disgusting. Alright, I'm sure they'll replay the fight, but in the case they don't, we'll go back and watch it. But I know I'm downing on Sven Ferris. There's a specific reason I'm doing it, and it has a lot to do with how he's playing it. Alright, replay the fight. Replay the fight. Okay, there we go. Now this time, because last fight we watched the Rek'Sai, this fight we're going to watch the Varus. Varus misses his ult, hasn't autoed once, hasn't autoed once. E, 1 auto on Galio, 2 auto on Galio. He's done E and 2 auto so far. He could have been autoing the whole time. And as a on-hit Varus, where you're playing a Rage Blade Varus, it's so important that you constantly auto in team fight and you get your 6 stacks fast as possible. But he's doing nothing in this fight while Acadian is buying so much pressure and so much time, and he has both heal and flash up. I think if Dgon played a little bit more aggressive there and has an ult, he is in such a better spot. He still hasn't autoed. 1 Q that hit Core JJ. 1 Q, 1 E, 2 autos. And missed ult. Still hasn't autoed. Flash out. 2 autos so far. Not stacking the Rage Blade at all. 3 autos, 4 autos, 5 autos. And then going away again. Like, he's doing so little damage. He had to play a lot more up there and be aggressive and use ult, use QE to proc his Ws. He just played really defensive. I think Dgon's great on a lot of champions. And then, I mean, now he's coming in for the finishers. But I don't think Varus, Ashe, and Sivir are one of them. Yeah, that fight was a lot about Broken Blade and Acadian. Broken Blade and Acadian played that fight so well. It's real is real. Vlad is such a disgusting champion. I mean, people are saying he was trying to dodge their combo, but he had heal and flash up there. He had to play aggressive, and he also had a Kench. There's no way you can get away with playing that defensive on Varus. And also, he's on-hit Varus that got Rage Blade, so it's so important that he autos in teamfights or he falls behind the damage so much. I think TSM recognized it too, because I think, like, afterwards they weren't prioritizing Varus that highly. Ooh, let's look at this fight. So they see TSM kind of out of position, but Broken Blade has TP. And then ulting on Bjerg's, or ulting on Smoothie and Bjerg. How did Bjerg get out? Oh, he just ulted Smoothie, not Bjergsen. He ulted Smoothie because Smoothie doesn't have flash and Zoe has flash. They're focusing down on the Kench. Kench got knocked. And also look at Zven's positioning here. So 1 auto, and then ult nothing, 2 auto, and then gets taunted and dies. So like, I feel like he doesn't read the fights that well on Varus. He's not reading what could be happening in the fights. The rest of TSM just doing a good job getting TL off of Baron. I never want to like call out a single player and flame them, especially when they put so much work in and they had a very heartbreaking game 5. But I do think Zven's play in this series has to get looked closely at. Broken Blade maintaining good flank position while TSM's right here, so if the rest of TL comes, Broken Blade can collapse. Good collapse onto Impact. I mean, Impact flashed the Bear Assault. So when they collapsed here, I'm not sure what the hell Bjerg was doing, but Bjerg played up and then he got killed there. Oh my god. I really want you guys to closely watch Broken Blade. Holy fuck, he plays so insane for this. Watch Broken Blade here. Just fucking watch this monster. Acadian able to ult by time. Broken Blade comes in here. R, E, red Q, Proto Blade. W to dodge the knockups on top of double. Ignores double lift. Acadian goes in, kills double lift. Broken Blade single-handedly carried that fight. Holy shit. Fucking disgusting. His Vlad was insane in this series. That Rek'Sai jump. I mean, Vlad is a broken champion late game, I agree with you, but then why doesn't everyone play Vlad? You need to be skillful to play Vlad, and Broken Blade was very skillful in terms of playing out Vlad. It's getting to that late game, and it's actually being able to flank that's really hard about Vladimir. Now TSM pushing 4-1 with their Baron. They're trying their best to not get engaged on, and long as Vlad is pushing the side lane, they're fine. Oh my god, Zven getting caught out there. So Core JJ did a really good job of hiding there with the pink ward, so he's hiding there with the pink ward so nobody knows. And then now Smoothie sees Core JJ. Zven gets taunted. Smoothie able to eat him, save him, and also gonna spit him out the wall. Now Zven is safe. Smoothie has his white health. Broken Blade TPing on this. TSM's so good about this play. This particular play is very much TSM. Whenever there's someone caught out, you'll see TSM often TP. Like, they're a team that's very, very on point about, we're gonna take the fight no matter. We're gonna take a fight no matter, pretty much no matter what. If you get caught out, if we are stronger as a fight, stronger as a team. So Broken Blade TPing in here, landing his ult. Bjergsen going in, and then Fundi's gonna die. He actually is able to not get that much off with his ult, and Sven used his ult earlier to lock down Bjerg, or not Bjerg, double. But Xmithy goes in here and he kind of suicides. I'm not sure why exactly Xmithy went in there, but it was pure suicide. What's with Gunblade on Kennen? It helps them have a better laning phase and a better split push at the cost of slightly weaker team fight. I mean, of course Proto Belt is better, but Gunblade is like a little bit mix of both, where you get better laning and still an okay team fight. You definitely have weaker team fight than if you had Proto Belt, but it's still good enough. Yeah, look at the damage. Ugh. Every game, every fight, it's gonna be Vladimir topping the charts. Vladimir's gonna do the most damage. BB is nuts. Indeed he is. Ooh. Oh man. Holy shit, let's slow down this fight and watch what Acadian did. Acadian actually plays so well on Rek'Sai. I was so surprised TL was constantly okay with giving Acadian Rek'Sai, because I thought it was one of... I feel like Rek'Sai is the only champion where he can be this insane on. He hits the Q on double again. He launches, able to kill double by himself in the back of the fight. And then Broken Blade going in with his ult and E. Rest of TL has to back out. Like, the combination of Broken Blade and Acadian, them both deep diving and like really helping each other, is core part of why TSM's winning. Second Baron, even though they didn't get Inhibitor this time, they're going to be able to get Elder Drake, and that's going to be game-ending push. Clean. Yeah. Now they're 1-3-1ing with Baron. They sent Acadian mid and Vladimir bottom. Zoe and Varus are very vulnerable when they're split pushing, so instead of keeping Zoe in a side lane, they decided to make sure they keep Rek'Sai as like a split pusher and Zoe along with everyone. They're going to be able to split like this for a while, and they're just going to get Baron off, or they're just going to get multiple inhibitors off of this, and it's going to be pretty dunzo. Pretty clean game from TSM overall. I hate to be anal, but I had to point out Sven being kind of bad at Varus, because it is a core part of why TSM is going to lose this series. The limited champion pool from AD carry is something that's really hurting them. Nice. Okay, so I actually didn't get to see the analyst desk, because I was, whatchamacallit? I was on Twitter, so I'm kind of curious what the analyst desk says. So let's watch the analyst desk. They said this
finals would be a close one. Game number 1 was that.
So even back and forth, and for TSM, a very well played game, but you have to give so much credit to the new guys here. Acadian, Broken Blade, really stepping up for their team and making it count.
And you can see the smile there on Bjergsen's face. The veteran very happy with the performance of his teammates on the biggest stage. There's a reason why people keep pointing it out. in an arena like this with the crowd chants
Do you
behind
think Dgon had a limited champion
so
pool, or
many
did it have
things
something
can
to do
go
with their
differently.
draft? Maybe
And
Zig
yet
said
they
play only
perform.
Israel
A
and Varus.
mistake in that game
I definitely think
will
it's a
cost
champion
you
pool thing,
everything.
because
That was certainly
Zven
after
played
Arcadia
Varus in
was
this
put
game,
behind
and his
in
Varus
that
was
early
not
game.
good.
He's
In
able
this
to
game, his
find the
Varus was
incredible
not
engages
good.
on this
So it is
champion that
definitely a
supposed to
champion pool
fall
thing,
off,
in my
that is supposed
opinion.
to be weak at that point in the game. So really so much credit to him, and now I am so interested to see
I don't hate double
what
lift.
will the draft choices be. Will TL try to go to red? Will TSM be trying to play to that side constantly? Because despite the fact that Impact got way ahead early, the Vladimir was unstoppable late.
Broken Blade had a 2-kill lane opponent who got some plates early on as well, and yet 11-1-6, highest gold of the game at 20,000. He was the carry. Broken Blade was the difference in this game. It was him heads and shoulders above his opponent, so that is something you definitely have to keep in mind. TSM also are the team that normally drop game 1 in the series. Quarters and semis.
Yeah, TSM would usually lose his first game and then adapt well in the next
this
3.
one. A TSM that wins game 1 looks even sharper going into
Sure,
best
I
of
can put it
series.
closer, make it a little louder.
This has been a very different TSM from the one that fans have known, and it's looking good.
It certainly is, and I've also got to wonder, how do they feel about how the Heidinger performed? Was it even worth the pick there from Jensen? Because that was such a story in pick ban, but did not feel like a factor throughout the game whatsoever. Bjergsen was certainly able to.
Let's go to the
deal with
analyst
Jensen
stuff. Actually, I want to see what they
I think
say.
that game 1, you couldn't have asked for a better way to start a 5-game series. And with that, both teams showed us within this game alone why they deserve to be in this final.
Right, what a game, dude. I hope we go to 5 games. I hope every single one is like that. I don't even care who wins if every game is like that. There's so many outplays in all these fights.
And this last fight was TSM.
I actually don't think there was a lot of outplays. It was just a lot of Acadian abusing the fuck out of Rek'Sai. Like, Acadian and Broken Blade just abusing the fuck out of Rek'Sai. I don't think these games were, like, insane. I think it was a lot of... It's a level 18 Vladimir with items. Like, what the hell does a Sivir do? What outplays were there?
Only hit one person. Otherwise, it would have been a 4 to 5 man, and it's all downhill from there for Team Liquid.
I mean, at that point, you're risking losing 3 inhibitors, so you have to go in. But with flashes available, summoners up, there's no way you
Oh
win
my
that
god,
fight.
that
TSM
fucking
bench
Vladimir.
close out game 1.
Final moments for TSM. Gotta feel good to pick up that first game of the series. But I want to now take us all the way back to draft. We heard Azael asking the question, was the Heimerdinger worth it? Medios, what are your thoughts here from the Team Liquid game plan?
I keep seeing this trend of teams early picking Jarvan while Rek'Sai is available as a counter pick, and I don't know if I've ever seen it work. I know Crumb's
Here, Jarvan is now 1-10 in playoffs, by the way.
I don't think Jarvan was that big of a problem. Like, you don't look at this game and you're like, holy shit, Jarvan was so problematic. You look at this game and you're like, holy shit, Vladimir is so problematic. You look at this game and you're like, holy fuck, let's not play Heimer.
So, to be fair, there were things that they could do different in this draft. I think
Vladimir has counters, but the problem is TL's banning out the Vladimir counters. Rise, Irelia, TL's self-banning out the Vladimir counters and then blind picking Kennen. That's the problem. It's not that Vladimir is OP. Of course that champion looks OP if you get to scale and the other team bans out counters for you.
You can talk about the Jarvan, you can talk about that, but this game felt a lot about execution to me. Like, I look at that draft and I say, I would have liked some things different too, but when you look at how it played out and the advantages Team Liquid had, that was 100% a winnable game that they got outplayed in some team fights and made their own.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Mark is the truther on Analyst Desk. I love Mark Z, and Mark Z only.
But that was a 4v5. Jensen was not in this game. His Heimer was not good. Just play something you're better at.
Alright, and Heimer is supposed to have a really good lane phase for Zoe due to the fact that you can just push in, you're not that afraid of dying. But he was staying even in CS and he didn't have any lane pressure. And as the teamfight started
I love Mr. Clean and Lumberjack.
happening, where was he at? I didn't see him. He just wasn't there.
It did seem like his Heimerdinger wasn't the most polished. I don't know how much practice he really has on that champion. Just watching team fights, he was missing his abilities pretty often. I remember the one in the Rift Herald fight, he kind of like chased Vlad instead of sticking with his team. So he looked maybe a little uncomfortable on that champion.
It's hard. It's a hard champion.
Mark, you talk about chances to win or opportunities to take a lead here for Team Liquid, but missed execution. Let's dive into some of the replays here because this was an action-packed game. As we mentioned, fights going both ways throughout the series.
And I think what Medios is talking about in terms
This
of...
fight really look at Acadian. Acadian entered this fight and then double into this fight. Look at Acadian and look at double. Acadian goes in here, gets insta-deleted. He didn't even get to use ult. He died before using ult. And then double came in, and then Bjergsen just fucked him up. He's completely too, because he spent the whole time he was pushing out bot lane with W and Q, so he TP'd in, and he used his ult, and then he fucking, like, he doesn't have any mana.
I don't know if that was the best decision there.
Right. I want to give some props to Bjergsen in this fight. He lands 3 sleepy bubbles in a row, and those are hard shots to hit. But every one that he hit forced a summoner or got a kill, and I'm kind of regretting not picking him for GOAT anymore after this performance.
Yeah, he played very well.
And that was huge too, because that was kind of the bridge. The early game was not going super well for them. They were losing turret plates all over the map, and they had all these other problems.
I do have to commend TL's early game. If I was Acadian playing against that, I would be so tilted. You know, you got a support flashing on you in your bottom side jungle. You got,
Oh shit, what up, D?
Kennen killing you top side.
Yo, can you go get a chair from Emily for him?
Yeah, you're gonna make it simple to do it?
What? Alright, we're gonna go to the next game, yeah? I'm gonna introduce my friend Daniel to the stream, and then we'll... What?
I think Emily's home.
Really? She's not.
I just literally heard like keyboard tapping.
That's Kat. She's not home.
Go do it. You go.
Oh my god. Say hi to the stream.
Of course.
And take off your shoes.
What's up? Was it just a cat? What's up, everyone? Big D here. Nickname, thank you, Darak Vader. That's not my name, Lamau. I'm here to troll Loco. Also, can everyone freaking enjoy Grig's beard? Grig has a full-on freaking beard like an adult, playing with all these kids. He's just trying to support his mid laner Beardson, even though he
You can sit on the bigger chair because you're bigger.
Thank you, I am bigger. Do you love Grig's beard? Grig's beard is fantastic.
I think it's a little...
It's a little like...
too much.
I mean, he definitely looks like he stays at home and plays a lot of League of Legends. All right.
My thing is, do you think he would grow a beard if Bjergsen didn't have a beard?
Yes. It just wouldn't have been like that. He's like, wow, Bjergsen's beard looks good when it grows out.
I think you see your friend doing it and you're like, holy shit, I want a beard too.
Good on Grig, man. He's like, this doesn't look good, but playoffs isn't over yet, so...
Alright, we'll go to game 2. Did you watch the whole series?
I watched the whole series.
What did you think?
I thought this whole series, I thought games 1 through 4 were like a nightmare for Riot, because what did they do? What? You were talking about it. Scripted. Everything's scripted. The script is... fuck lanes against lanes. It's double lift against Bjergsen, right? Jensen against Broken Blade, or whoever it was, right? But then, like, the whole series in games 1 through 4 were all about Broken Blade and Acadian. Yeah. Like, double lift and Bjergsen really didn't do too much.
Yeah. Well, I can talk about why for both. So for double lift, right? This actually plays into why TSM lost. But what do you think are the 3 best meta ADs?
Varus, that was the one that everyone fought over.
Yeah.
God, I'm a little out of date because then it would be like Ezreal Lucian, but no one really played those two,
it's
right?
not those two.
What did they play? I don't remember what they played.
So
I feel like it's Sivir and Ezreal.
So it's Sivir and Ashe. So it's just Varus, Sivir, and Ashe, the utility ADs. Because right now, like, people don't even run Ignite on bot lane anymore, right? It's like heal on, support, teleport on AD.
On AD, yeah.
Or heal on AD, exhaust on support. It's very, like, neutral. And a lot of it is teams playing very safe bot lanes and a lot of utility bot lanes. And then you run 1-3-1 later, and Ashe, Varus, Sivir are way better 1-3-1 champion than stuff like Varus, stuff like... Or not Varus, stuff like Vayne.
Yeah, Vayne.
Stuff like... Kai'Sa, Lucian, so...
Zyrakan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It changes the way that you have to play if you pick any of those other champs. You have to play around your AD dealing damage like a Death Ball or... was it Funnel that was happening earlier with Zyrakan going mid in Europe, stuff like that.
Archanted is asking what's 1-3-1. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, so a 1-3-1 is once the laning phase is over, you have your core items, you have one summoner in the top lane, one summoner on the bottom lane, and then 3 members in the mid lane, or any variation of that. It could be 3 top, 1-1, or 1-1-3. Anyway, it's all about adding pressure on the map, and now you're making this other team that doesn't have 2 champions that can answer the solo laner. So imagine you have a super fed Zed in one lane and a super fed Rise in the other lane. You need to have 2 guys that can either slow down them pushing and you can't get caught, or that can kill them. Or you commit a lot of resources, like 2 or 3 champions to that lane, and then try to prevent the group of 3 from taking the rest of your stuff.
So, yeah. Basically, 1-3-1 is ran a lot whenever there's extremely, extremely strong solo laners being played in the meta, and not that strong AD carries in the meta. So when there's strong solo laners like Akali, Rise, Irelia, Lissandra, Jace being played, Vladimir being played, 1-3-1 is the de facto macro play in mid game.
You could still like 4-1 with Jace or any of those, but it's best when you're able to go 1-3-1. However, you just never see it in solo queue because people are fucking retarded and shove into the other team's turret and then die and say, "Why didn't you get anything?" It's like you couldn't get anything.
So why I think Zben actually underperformed this series, and why I kind of take points off from Zben, is he's not able to play the meta AD carries, and Varus, Sivir, and Ashe. So his Varus is actually bad, and he relies on Ezreal Kalista a lot.
Correct.
Instead of playing Sivir and Ashe, where Doublelift just plays the 3 meta ADs.
And when you play against, sorry about the R word, Kauchu. When you're playing against other like poor teams, you're able to just play Lane Kingdom and win, like what Sven does, right? When he pulls out the Kalista, everyone's like, "Oh shoot, it's Kalista, it's Sven from Europe. Is that Niels?" I think that was the whole meme. You're able to do that, but when you're playing against better teams, like a hyper great macro team like Liquid, you can't do that, because even though you're winning lane, you're getting dumpstered all over like everywhere else.
So you can play stuff like Kalista, Draven, and even Israel, but it makes it harder. And then both teams, because they're so focused on team fighting, and they're not as focused on like split lane play or side lane play and very heavy tempo play, they actually have to go back to it. So in Korea and in other regions, especially in LPL and Europe, you'll see them branch off from Sivir, Ashe, and Varus, because they're much better about side lane play and much better about being faster on tempo and abusing early game leads. But that's not the reality for TSM and TL. Alright, we can go into this game. So one thing that was like really puzzling to me is the constant rides bans from TSM side. I really liked the Tom Kench ban, and I hated that they dropped it later on.
That's core JJ's bread and butter.
Yeah. Sylas ban, that's a purple tax. When you're purple side, you have to ban Sylas. Jace, they're afraid of first pick Jace, and they're afraid of Bjergsen Lys. And then TSM immediately locking in Taric. So why you lock in Taric instead of Sona is you have 2 variations that you can play. So Taric Sona is a thing.
And Taric Karma is the other one.
Yeah, and Taric Karma is the other one. But that's why you can lock in Taric, and if the other team takes Sona, just play Taric Karma, and you're able to shred the Sona in that lane.
I think the Rise is a ban not against Impact, right? That's against Jensen.
So
right?
I can kind of explain. I asked Reaper about this because Rise ban was really weird for me, because in Korea you just first pick the Rise, and it's actually one of the best first picks that you can do. But what people are saying is Rise is better on purple side when they pick it here, because you can flex it, and on blue side it's harder to flex, and you can double counter into it.
Why is it harder to flex? Oh, because it's double countered by the way picks and bans work.
Yeah, because you have 10th pick here, and then you have
either it'll flex here if you know it's mid and you've shown it, and then you can counter it, or you could just do it twice, right? Yeah, gotcha. Okay,
so
cool.
It's much easier to flex from purple. That's why Reaper said any team ban rides from blue side, and both teams ban rides from blue side the entire series. So as I said, like TL actually plays just standard meta ADs. Like double net. The fact that double didn't go to Vayne or Kai'Sa or Twitch is actually. Oh, he actually did play Kai'Sa.
He played Kai'Sa.
He played Kai'Sa, but he stayed on majority. These meta ADs for majority of the series was actually really surprising for me.
I mean, shows his growth as the highest winning LCS player of all time.
6 trophies, baby. And then
same with Xmithy.
Xmithy has 5.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Xmithy up there with Bjergsen.
Yeah. So the core part of Sona Taric is carry up on top side of the map. In jungle and top lane, that's why you see the Hecarim here. And then I actually thought this was one of the dumbest drafts that Liquid did.
Yeah.
Ask Zyra, like when you see Taric Sona, you're like, okay, they're gonna play carries from top side of the map. It's gonna be Hecarim. It's gonna be Yasuo. It's gonna be Yasuo Gragas. Like, you know carries are coming from top side of the map, and you're like, okay, you know what plays well into carries? Immobile champions that are squishy. Wait a minute, that's not what happens.
Yeah.
I was so puzzled by the Ashe and Zillion pick. So fucking puzzled.
It's really weird, right? Because they end up drafting, like, they made great adjustments afterwards, and TSM kind of started folding a little bit. But
this was an int from the draft. This was full on int.
Yeah. When they went Zyra Ashe, I was like, that's dumb. Are you trying to kill them? It's like a high pressure lane, but that's exactly what this lane absorbs.
So yeah, this lane is very good at absorbing
So
pressure.
Liquid was thinking, we will be able to dish out more damage than what TSM will be able to absorb with the Taric and Sona lane, to the point where they won't be able to stay in lane anymore. They went lane kingdom on this with Ashe, Zyra.
So the only way you can make this work is if you kill them over and over and over again in lane.
Right.
And as Sona Taric, you're like, lols, you're trying to kill a Sona Taric.
Yeah.
Like, so they picked Zoe early, and then BM fucking hovering Echo the entire series.
Dude, when he did it the first time, when he went through all of them, all the different series, I was like, whoa, Sven's big brain, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's great foreshadowing that Sven is the one. Now forever, any team that plays Sven should hover like...
They're gonna hover Ezreal to fuck with Ezreal. This is like mental breaking though. Like, this is like fucking life-changing theory for Sven.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. Like, there were, what, twice in Game 3 and in Game 5 that they had the game in the bag and it just fell apart, but Sven gave it away twice in that game.
Because the season is over, and also Froggen talked about it a little, I'll reveal it. So Froggen's like secret pick in spring
was Lux.
Yeah. He would blind pick Lux, and people would ban out Lux and scrims because he was so fucking annoying. So it got to a point where teams were banning Anivia, and then banning Vel'Koz, and then banning Lux versus Froggen, because they're like, okay, no one plays as well as Froggen on Anivia, Vel'Koz, and Lux, but it's giving us so much problems in practice where we need to ban these champions to actually play.
Yeah.
And then that was his counter into Zoe too. Lux into Zoe. So like the traditional counters and like Syndra into Zoe, how it works is whenever Zoe does her ult, where the time dimensional portal, like there's a spot that she's going to come back to, so Syndra can set up her
So you set up the ball, and then you shove, get the stun down, and then you can get the damage down,
And then Lux can do the exact same thing whenever...
she ults forward, you snare where she's going to be back to.
Yeah, and then you're able to burst her, and you have longer range.
Yeah.
So fundamentally...
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's fundamentally a really good counter. So a really good counters are things that can counter you in lane, and things that can also counter you outside of lane, just in the play style. So, and Zoe's also want to use ult, right? Always want to use ult. They can never not play that way.
Real quick, Awesome Chibibo says, Sven is all talk, no walk, had the best players around him his entire career. I don't think that's correct either. I think he's had great players around him. I think he's a great player. I think he just...
Like, people will whiplash or rubber band effect, where if Zben won this series, people would say stuff like, Zben is better than Double Lift. I can't believe people were comparing Double Lift and Bjergsen. They should have been comparing Zben and Bjergsen, right?
Yeah.
And now that he lost this series, people are like, Zben is absolute fucking garbage.
Who do you think played well? What individual played well for Team Liquid? Because it was all about Double Lift, but I feel like Core JJ and Xmithy.
Okay, so the fact that Bjergsen wasn't very shiny, or that Jensen wasn't very shiny, is actually a lot of credit to both of them. They were both playing so well. They made sure the other one wasn't getting out of control. You watch the TL versus FlyQuest series, Jensen is out of control.
Yeah.
You watch the TSM versus C9 series, Bjergsen is out of control.
Yeah.
The fact that both of them contained each other kind of means like both sides played extremely well.
Nice.
So yeah, it's kind of like it's hard to explain, but Bjerg and Jensen were laning both very well, and neither of them gave space for the other one to kind of like affect rest of the map.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract.
And then they pick Irelia, and then now like Irelia is someone that has pretty much infinite dashes in a fight, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're fighting around
Highly
creeps.
mobile, top lane carry.
I'm like, what the fuck? You're ass Zoe, Zyra, like This is a nightmare
With
situation.
Kennen, I was like, oh no.
This is a nightmare situation.
Oh no. They're like, we can't pick a tank here, so Kennen.
So,
I hate this matchup as Kennen. So I play a lot of Kennen. Like, this is terrible. You throw a shuriken and she just dodges it. And you feel stupid. There's nothing you could do.
So Impact can
God.
only play 2 carries. I know he played Vladimir in the last game, and we'll go over that game. But the most, like the core champions that he played that he was good on is not Irelia, Kennen and GP. Those are Impact's best carries.
And Gnar. Do you want your food?
No, you can eat. I'll talk.
You carry. Sorry, stream. Hungry D.
Zoe does nothing versus Sona Tarek. Yeah. Versus Sona Tarek, it's really hard to actually play well into it.
They want to show food. TIP
Impact
Gnar, man.
Dude, they killed the Gnar. Like
they killed Gnar.
Gnar is not a champion anymore. This game, like, to talk about from TL's point of view, they have to do so much to win this game. They have to
snowball bottom. Yeah,
snowball bottom and never let up. Never, ever, ever let up. Like, if there's any point where TSM stabilizes and Hecarim, Sona, Tarek, Irelia hits a stable point mid game, that comp just runs them over. This was the biggest you lost this game from draft. I cannot believe that their answer to Tarek Sona was Ash Zyra. Like, how? Like, what world does this shit work? Really good flash from Core JJ there.
What time do you have Listen Loco? Or what time you cut it off? Because I would love to get to Game 5.
Yeah, we'll watch all the way to Game 5.
Okay, cool. So,
yeah, I mean, Core JJ actually, and then Impact getting fucking fucked in the matchup he counterpicked, and then he forced the TP early.
That was so bad, Impact! That was so bad. He just played greedy and like you're supposed to. You punish the Aurelia early before she's able to dash everything, and he got stunned or whatever, and then that was it. That was the end of the lane.
And also, Core JJ actually did a really good job of flashing the Tarek flash stun, but Core JJ is good, but he's not good enough to play Zyra into Tarek, Sona, Hecarim, Irelia good. He is definitely a damn good player, but not good enough to pull this off.
No.
You have to play well early. Like, you just have to play such God mode. It's just, like, the expectation is not possible. So there has been a lot of, like, ways that people have been breaking Tarek Sona. I think the most interesting one I've seen so far is the G2 way of doing it, where they played Morgana, Pyke bot lane, and then they funneled mid with Xayah Rakan. I like that idea.
That was so cool.
Yeah. I like that idea of breaking up Tarek Sona.
Did you do the whole G2?
Yeah, I did the
whole
G2.
That whole series was so awesome, and G2's like, it's hard not to be a G2 fan.
Oh.
Like, their cockiness is like mad annoying, but that whole series was super cool.
So how they approach Tarek Sona is by, instead of ganking Tarek Sona, let's let it neutralize and let's roam and let's affect the other lane as much as possible. Because that's one of Tarek Sona's strengths, that they're immovable in lane. It's okay, be immovable. Like, we'll just stick a Morgana down there and then we'll roam on you instead.
Wait, what does the Morgana do?
Morgana just sits down bot lane and then she clears versus Tarek.
She just shoves him in.
Yeah.
Okay. Morgana is the carry in that lane.
Yeah, Morgana's the carry. So yeah, like, you can see Ash Zyra having somewhat pressure on bot lane, but it's not enough. And they're gonna end up giving this red buff, and that's completely fine. Like, TSM should know there's a point in the game, we just have to hit that point and we have to make sure we're strong at that point and we'll run over them. Like, we will steamroll, like, it won't even be close. But it's important they recognize that point in the game is gonna come and they don't, like, take dumb fights earlier on in the game.
Which they don't.
Yeah, which they don't. What did I think about the Rek'Sai pick? I mean, Rek'Sai pick was fine. Like, honestly, like, Rek'Sai pick really does not matter here. It really does not matter what jungler they pick. It's about more so the bot lane. It's about the Sona Zyra into the Hecarim, into the Irelia that's coming. Is there any thought about Bjergsen's luck pick? I'll explain it again very briefly, but it's the counter pick into Zoe and it's a Froggen specialty. And yeah, I mean, they're also naturally just losing top lane too, even with like the kind of Rek'Sai pressure. Broken Blade's actually so good on Irelia. I think that's one of his best champions, Irelia. I know he's recently known more for his Vlad, but I think his best have been Irelia and Jax throughout the season.
And his Aatrox?
Aatrox was good too.
What did they put him on? We looked it up. They put him on tanks at the beginning of the season, and then they're like, no more tanks, you play carries. Oh, it was Sion.
Yeah, but
they
also
put him on a lot of Sion.
Meta also changed where Irelia, like Akali, Vladimir, Ryze came back on. The thing I want to commend TSM for this game is earlier on, Zyra Ashe gonna have prio. Don't play the contestings earlier on and play the skill. They just understood the draft and the comp very, very well.
They looked unstoppable, man.
Oh.
And it was cool because they were doing it in the way that they knew Team Liquid didn't have an answer to with this Taric Sona bot lane. I thought that was interesting that in the mic check that Riot did when Team Liquid picked Sona Taric, Doublelift says, alright, sure, we'll do it, but we've only played it once or like twice. Whatever it was, they gave away like that's a ton of information to give away.
And then, also, why do you? Teams don't really get a say on what Riot puts or doesn't put in mic check.
Yeah.
So it's whatever, but
that's a ton of information.
You can practice it also during that week that you have off.
I'm sure they did, but they probably just didn't have an answer to it, and the fact that TSM goes back to it and Team Liquid looks dumb not have an answer to it. They just look dumb.
I didn't like this play, so here, they went aggressive on double because he was keeping in, and then now Acadian burned double flash, and they're gonna be able to kill him. But this wasn't like a well calculated play. This was like, oh, double's keeping here, we're gonna go look for the play, and it worked out well for them. But the most important thing here is double died while burning his flash. Now double's absolutely fucking fucked. Like next time they come back bottom, like Ashe blows up. Like there is so little counterplay to Hecarim just running at you. Yeah, so they see him coming in, so they like went for the play. It wasn't more of a plan play. They were like, oh shit, he's TPing in, let's try to kill him.
Yeah, you could see that because Acadian was still doing red buff.
Yeah.
And like he had to just leave red buff to immediately come down bot and then die.
Yeah. It was fine. Like they traded 1-for-1 and burned the flash, but it wasn't a well planned play of any sort. Oh, but that point is coming. That point regarding Hecarim Irelia is coming. There's a point in the game where I've been the Ashe Zyra side. I love Ashe Zyra. I love these controlled like lane kingdom lanes. Like I know how these lanes work. Like when you play versus certain champions, you know when the like mid and late game when they get their items, there's so little you can do. Now you can see TSM a little bit more contesting on the buff and contesting on what they need to be doing.
So they play the first 15 minutes relatively passive, except that gank in the bot, and now they've scaled up enough.
Yeah.
What's the item point?
The item point is, Irelia Trinity. Hecarim has his Red Smite.
Skirmisher's Blade fully built.
Yeah. Level 11 is like when this comp is super strong. Level 11 is one of the strongest points for this comp. Double level 2 ults on Taric and Sona. I actually thought this was really weird. So we'll replay this slowly, but if you look here, look at the timing they're going in and look where Irelia is. Irelia has teleport, right? Irelia has teleport. They're deciding to go in before Irelia even started to cast teleport. So between the three of them, they're like, we're gonna fucking charge in here. Like when Irelia's not even like anywhere nearby.
Right.
And Kennan's already teleporting in, right? Kennan's already teleporting in. So Kennan's in and Irelia's just starting to teleport and she's all the way back here. And this fight is already going on. So they killed Doublelift in combination with Lux ult and Sona ult, which was a little bit overkill, but down they're really committed here. Taric's here first, and they're gonna get cleaned up. Because usually TSM's really good about like syncing up on stuff. I was very surprised like how they played this situation out, where it was like really messy. Like the fight is already over before Irelia is even in the fight. The timing of things were really off. So TSM recognized the point that they can fight again, or they recognize the point where they can fight, but the execution of the fight was just so fucking bad. They basically inted, but it was not an int because of like, oh, they look for a terrible fight. It was an int because their coordination was so off. Look at the Sona ult here. Double has no TP or no flash, and Zven's just ulting to kill Double. If I'm like, what the fuck? Like what is this Sona ult?
It's him nutting. Best AD carry West.
Best in the West. And then Irelia solo kill on Cannon.
One punch. It fits in by keeping Zoe in the lane. It keeps her at bay. It's not necessarily like fitting in the comp. It just keeps Zoe from going crazy.
It doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't fit in the comp. It's just a pick into Zoe, and rest of the comp works so well together that it can just function on its own. Whew.
It feels so bad.
He counterpicked it too. This is a matchup he picked into. He picked into this matchup and still is getting destroyed.
Kennon's just a little Yordle at the end of the day. Can't be going toe-to-toe with Aurelia.
So this fight is a little bit different. This fight, Doublelift has flash, and it's actually a really good timing for TL, because TL has 2 stopwatch, the double pen on Kennen, double pen on Zyra, like they're at a very strong point. Double stopwatch, and also most importantly, Doublelift has flash up. So this is one of the better fight setups for TL. Let's see how it goes down.
I forgot how this goes down.
So the problem with this fight is a little separation here and a little separation here. So Jensen, Doublelift, and Core JJ all wants to be on the same side. But the fact that they're on opposite sides of the fight is actually really fucking bad leading up to it. If they're all on the same side, it's really different because they're approaching you from the same angle. So you're not really getting flanked, and you can help each other. But when
Impact's ult stops the engage,
when they're on separate sides, it's really hard to help each other. So they get the good, like this is a fight where they start by deleting Zven and he doesn't even get to ult, right? But Hecarim's on top of Doublelift.
Solo ult, baby! And then that was huge.
Yeah.
That one was huge.
And then also Bjergsen hit really great bind here, able to get laser on, what is it, both target, Jensen forced to stopwatch. Like this is how good this comp is. They killed the Sona, but also it's deceptive, right? They kill the AD carry.
Yeah.
But the AD carry, Sona, is actually a utility. Like
right.
Sona and Tarek almost split the gold evenly. They have the same amount of gold. So even though they kill Sona without doing anything, like
the damage dealers are still alive.
Yeah, and they used their ults to kill Sona. They used Ashe ult, they used Zyra ult. So now Hecarim, like Acadian is so happy to just fucking run into Doublelift.
And because they were on the wrong sides of the fight, Impact, who is the other person that can prevent space, or that can add space for AD carry, gets killed double binding.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah, so look, they do it's a really nice setup on Sona, right? Root into Ashe ult, into Zyra ult. It's a really nice setup, and they're able to kill Sona immediately, but afterwards they're left defenseless. And then that double binding from Bjerg, fucking sick. What a sicko. This is what I mean though. If you look at it closely, like there's moments where Bjergsen goes off, Jensen goes off, but in lane, like both of them contain each other.
Hey,
really
come
well.
on, let's give the proper love to Greg. Hey, who's that homeless person in the back? Who's that fan? How did he get in here? He's wearing a TSM jersey. Reggie said it was okay. All right.
It is such a weird look.
I didn't know St. Louis had such a high homeless population. It's very nice of TSM to clothe them.
Why is this guy so loud? I don't know. He's always loud.
I'm always loud. Sorry.
Yeah, but like points like this, like just.
Actually, did the snare happen there? Yeah.
Yeah.
This snare happened on the sleep. This is why you would pick.
No. So here, Bjergsen shooting snare as Jensen's approaching, so he can't hit the Q. Like.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to show why Lux is being picked.
Yeah. But Jensen and Bjerg both play so insane. They're able to like always cancel each other out and make sure the other one doesn't go off. Like that's a lot of times what happens when two good mid laners play. Like when both of them play well, it becomes very even, or it's like a slugfest. But due to both of their style, this makes a lot more sense. Oh, They used the Herald top, but it's not going to do anything. It's not even going to be able to get turret at that point. Oh, it is able to get turret. That's at the very least, that's fine.
Damn, dude. They wait, but they committed so much there to kill Broken Blade. Like, double if use TP.
It's not bad. They got the turret top, and then they got the turret bottom and the dragon.
That's a lot, actually.
Yeah, they got a lot. So they got 4 turrets and a dragon. So they caught up a lot. So they have 3 dragons. They're up 2k. But just look at the comp, right? Like, look at the comp later on. Trinity, Red Smite, Hecarim. Like, as an AD carry player, like, you have nothing. Like, you literally have nothing. 4 turrets. 1 turret top, 2 turret bottom. Oh, that's 3. That's 3. My bad. I miscounted. 3 turrets. 3 turrets.
3 turrets, 4 objectives.
Yeah, 3 turrets and a dragon.
Thank you, Jack. Keep him honest. Loco's a liar.
I keep repeating that same thing, but I have to commend TSM on how well they understood their comp and they didn't panic. I feel like a lot of times, even if you draft winning comps, players will start panicking when you start losing, but TSM knows what their win condition is. They know their win condition is 5v5, Hecarim running down Ashe. Doublelift can pick up all the farm he wants, but none of his farm is going on a defensive item, so it doesn't matter.
What defensive item would you build?
I mean, you would build
Stopwatch.
You would build Stopwatch, use it once into GA.
Yep.
That's the best thing you can pray for. I mean, he gets BF Sword there, which is the right buy. It's just BF Sword has 0 tankiness, and the problem is how tanky you are versus the Hecarim. For TSM, it's really important they get proper fights. If they ever mess up fights and they're left in situations where they get picked off, and if TL's able to pick them off and force TSM to not take 5v5s, then it's really good for TL. So this fight, it's somewhat like, I know they're getting a flank, right? But flanking, what's the point of flanking a Taric Sona? They're invulnerable, and you're leaving yourself vulnerable. I want you guys to look at Doublelift this fight. Like, see if Doublelift is playing bad, or see if there's anything he can do. So they're flanking the Taric Sona. Irelia ports right away. Hecarim goes on the Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai gets split from the team. Rek'Sai has to jump out. They land sleep on Smoothie. They stun the Heka. He's going to get healed right away.
Oh, Impact wants to go so bad.
Yeah. They get stunned on Smoothie.
This is Impact's time to shine.
Smoothie starts casting the ult. They don't finish him off. So Smoothie flashed here because he wanted to get Broken Blade the ult. That's why he flashed up. But Broken Blade started going before he got the ult. So he didn't get the sunglass. He's like, what is it for? Ionia. He's just rushing in there. But look at this. Like, what the fuck do you do as a... Like, look at the Zyra and the Ashe. Like, they're just good targets for Broken Blade to queue off of.
And look at Impact's ult.
Yeah.
Again, like, Impact isn't doing this aggressively, right? If you want to do it aggressively, right here would have been good before the ult goes down and you do a bunch of burst damage. But then they kill you once the ult hits whoever it was on, Acadian.
Yeah. And also, you can get Sona ulted. Well, stop skipping through.
What happened here?
Stop skipping through. What?
Why didn't it... Like, why is Impact ulting?
I mean, he thought he could prevent them, but Irelia Hecarim can just jump through so much.
Yeah.
And then Sona ult on top was really nice. Like, they know their targets are Zyra, Ashe, and they have very easy backline access. And then also Xmith's against the wall, so he can't dodge the Lux ult.
Yeah.
They know their targets are Zyra, Ashe, and TSM. Like, TSM knows their targets, and they just stay on their target.
Feels bad, man.
It feels bad for TL, but TSM...
Played it well?
Yeah, played it well, and they understand their win condition in the fight. Kill the Zyra, kill the Ashe, stay on those targets. Okay, alright, what is it? Xmith's gets pushed out of the fight. They can't start the fight. It is so frustrating on their end. And then even the Zyra ult, like, it's so dodgeable for Irelia and Heka.
Oh, I see what happened. So he ulted and used Lightning Surge to speed up and go up on top, like right in the middle. But because the Irelia ult was down when he crossed over it, the Vanguard's edge, he gets slowed. That's why it looked like he ulted in the middle of nowhere. That makes sense now. Because he was trying to stop Hecarim at the very top of the lane. But that didn't happen. Okay.
Goal difference over time. Like, TL's winning, but they can never truly win. Unless this like graph is all the way down to TL, the moment it normalizes for TSM, they're just going to take over the game. So they get a good catch on Bjerg. Super important that... Now it's super important TSM plays really safe, and they get them off of Baron, and they make sure they can't do it. They don't want a full-on fight without Bjerg. They just want to get them off. Get them off, reset, wait for Bjerg. All they need to do. I think this game in the series was by far the most draft impacted game.
It was definitely the coolest because you were getting to see this secret pick that came up in playoffs against the best team. You're like, okay, let's really troll that Team Liquid and TSM were doing it, but now let's see how one of these teams does against it, and it just steamrolled them.
TSM was the most flexible team because TSM was the most flexible team because if you watch this TSM team, they actually borrow from so many teams. They borrow. Don't click it. It's a fucking troll.
What? Click it. I was just asking. Okay.
Yeah. TSM's the most flexible team because they borrowed the Lux pick from Golden Guardians, right? And they also borrowed the Kindred Zillion comp from C9. They're able to just take other comp from other teams and execute it pretty well on their level.
Which is a hard thing to do, people. You feel like it's easy, but it takes practice. Your team has to practice it. You have to, when you're practicing against teams in the LCS, they have to not troll in the scrim and let you play it out. Like, it's not as easy as, oh, so-and-so did it, let's do it on stage. Like, you have to get your games in, and there's only a certain amount of games, right, you get to practice on.
I'll check the SKT, might go to LCS later. For now, we're focusing on this. As in, like, Double Lift still doesn't have stopwatch. Like, I think he's going IE before stopwatch and not GA. I think that's just the build Double's gonna go, so he's gonna keep dying over and over again. Alright. Good reminder, I'll drink my water. TSM's just fishing for a fight up Baron now. They're waiting for TL to overstep. Yeah, he finished IE. It wasn't going GA. Just gonna die over and over again. Ah, poor Double. TSM, what they want to do is control vision at Baron and just look for a... Oh my god.
These Ninja Tabi will help.
He needs stopwatch in GA. He cannot build this way. I guess, like, at that point, you're building to try to save yourself where it's impossible, but I just... Like, there's no good items to build, honestly. That's the actual real answer. There's nothing he can build.
Catches Bjergsen.
Bjergsen good cleanse.
Oh, cleanse. GG, bait.
Now look at this hacker. Look at this hacker.
Oh, it feels so good. Oh, double F, no!
He double lift, flashed. Hecarim was able to ghost and speed up to catch him because he targeted the Zyra. So they killed Zyra for Hecarim, which is fine. Which is really good for TL. Hecarim's the carry, Zyra's the squishy. But you know what the big point is? Even though they traded 1-for-1, double lift flashed.
You got the flash, which is worth a kill.
Now he's fucked. Like, just double lift burning flash means next fight is... Like, they have no shot next fight. Demacia.
Who's Curry? Says...
Curry
Sir
is...
Hatz's...
Curry is FlyQuest Academy coach. People keep saying it's gonna be Steph Curry. Steph Curry randomly shows up for Listen Loco.
Yeah, Loco lost that hookup about last season.
Yeah. Last year. I was chill with Steph Curry till last year.
He still might be because he's now invested in TSM. And Loco's a TSM fanboy.
Yeah, but next fight, where they take it, Double has QSS, not GA. QSS can't really save him. Like, it'll, like, oh, look at this. So this angle's actually... TL's doing a good job starting the fights on Hecarim himself. And now Hecarim is left in a defensive position, and then they have to Terra Gold. But Irelia going in here, there's just so much threats, right? There's so much threats regarding TSM and TL.
Oh my gosh. Vanguard's Edge into Lux ult, and then Core JJ is like, I can't help my AD carry.
It's really hard for TL to get a stable footing. Even if they are able to chunk Hecarim, there's threats from elsewhere. There's like Lux, there's like Hecarim, and even especially in that terrain itself, it's so good for Lux. Just ran over the game. This is the point where I thought the series was over.
Mm-hmm.
I thought series was over right here. I thought there's no way in fucking hell that TL comes back. I was like, their mental's broken after this game. The way they lost this game, their mental is fucking broken.
When they got up to go talk, I didn't think their mental was broken. I was just like, holy shit, Zix just drafted TSM a trophy.
Well, I don't even think it's... I want to commend Tony on good draft. I think Tony had a good draft. I thought TL had an awful draft. I thought TL draft was god fucking awful.
That's because Zix put him in that position, right?
He didn't tell them, like, he didn't fucking inception them and tell them that Tarek Sona gets countered by Zyra Ashe. Unless Tony inceptioned them last night before they played and told them to pick Ashe Zyra into Tarek Sona, that was not Tony out drafting. That was like fucking that was TL just like
giving him a game.
Yeah.
Or I mean, TL giving him a game. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Before we go to next game, I will click this link and I will get trolled. Okay, it's in Korean. There's not a single position where they say. Okay, in this one it says SKT, when asked about going into North America, said they were holding their word. They said as a team, we never consider going to NA for a single second. We did team up with Comcast, but even through that, we don't have a plan to go to NA. Like they're fucking like, you guys are getting trolled. SKT had zero plans to go to LCK or LCS. They're literally saying they have a zero plan to do it, and you're like, oh, look at this.
What is Hai wearing? Easy there. Hai, the greatest mid laner to have ever graced North America and the greatest shot caller in all of esports, gets to wear whatever the fuck he wants to wear, sir. Also, you get to see how big his muscles are. He looks really small.
I think Hai is bad on the desk. I think Doran described it perfectly well.
Oh, what was that?
Hai is one of the most analytical and the smartest League of Legends player to ever play from North America, but it takes a completely different skill to be analytical and entertaining on the desk, and Hai doesn't do a good job of that.
I think he doesn't. He's still learning as the entertainer, right? Like Crumbs is, I think, sometimes too much entertainment. Like he fixates on like weird key things, key moments, and then getting it out. You can see how excited he is to get it out, but then sometimes like the execution of getting it out is wrong. But like you can tell that Crumbs a little bit further along with his caster persona than Hai. I think the difference is like Hai just started, so you give Hai time. You're like, let this greatest player, this analytical mind, like have time to mature.
I mean, not every great player turns into Charles Barkley.
Give it time. What do they lose?
Yeah, Dash and Mark are fucking godly though.
Mark's really good.
Yeah.
And
TSM looks so serious even after they won.
Yeah, look at Greg in the back. Oh, there's something in my beard. It's itchy. I love Greg.
Damn. I don't think TSM played particularly better than TL this game, but this game was such draft difference. Like, this game was so much draft difference. They definitely did not play like it looks like a stomp in this game, but this game was just draft difference through and through.
I like this question.
What?
Will Tarek Sona work versus Eastern teams?
Ooh.
Because we got to see an answer of Tarek Sona, which was go back to funnel. Like, okay, you guys want to stall and play a mid-game team composition with Terexona, we'll just accelerate the game by playing funnel and getting strong super early, just not in the Terexona lane. Right? That's one way to do it. Like, then what does the Terexona lane do, or is that the answer? That's the scissors to the paper.
I think
in the rock paper scissors.
I think what is it? G2 did a really great job of answering Terexona by playing away from Terexona, and I think a lot of Terexona solutions are answering away from Terexona and not answering into Terexona. And I think after that answer from G2, it lays down a really good baseline for how to play into Terexona, which is play away from it. Don't play into it, play away from it, and fuck the other lanes.